This is section 2.5, part 4. These are angle problems. We've dealt with some already. We dealt with them in the last section. We talked about complements and supplements, and this is very closely related. We want to find the measure of each angle on these two problems that we're going to do. This first one, if you look at what we did last time, we were talking about a supplement, and those two angles, we said that they added to 180 because they made up a straight line. The same thing's happening here. This whole angle from here to here is 180 degrees. So maybe I don't know what this angle is, and I don't know what this angle is, but I know that if I add them together, I should get 180. So that's what I'm going to do. I take my first angle. I'll put it in parentheses so it's easier to see what's happening, but mathematically, the parentheses don't matter here. Plus the second angle. And that needs to equal 180. Okay? Now, if this problem were written more like this, with a right angle, I would still add up my two angles, but I would use a 90 here instead of a 180. Now we said parentheses don't matter here because there's nothing to distribute, so I'm going to write it without them. Now combine like terms here. 10x plus 7x is 17x. And then 7 plus 3 is 10. So I have 17x plus 10 equals 180. Now we need to get x by itself, so I need to subtract 10 from both sides. I get 17x equals 170. Now to get x alone, I need to divide both sides by a 17. And that tells me that x equals 10. Now, a lot of people stop here. We have done the hard part. We have done all of the algebra we need almost. We have found x. We were not asked to find x. We were asked to find the measure of each angle. So what I have to do is I have to figure out what 10x plus 7 is, and I have to figure out what 7x plus 3 is. So for this one, 10x, so 10 times 10 plus 7. That is 100 plus 7, so 107 degrees. This one is 107 degrees. Now you can take this and subtract it from 180 and figure out what this should be. In fact, if you do that, 180 minus 107 will give you 73. I expect this to be 73. I take the 10 though and I plug it in to make sure. And I have 7 times 10 plus 3. 7 times 10 is 70 plus 3 does give me 73 degrees. So that angle, 73 degrees, we were asked to find each angle, and we have. These would be the answers that you would plug into the computer. Okay. Now, this next problem is not a type of geometry we have seen yet. These two lines, when you have two lines that are intersecting, are actually three or more as long as they all go through the same point. Angles that are directly opposite each other, so these two angles and these two angles, the ones that are directly opposite each other, those are called vertical angles. Okay, so even though these are vertical and you would think these are horizontal, these are still called vertical angles. Now the thing we need to know is that vertical angles are always equal. Okay. So since these two are vertical angles, they have to be the same value. So the equation I want to solve is 10x plus 15, my first angle, needs to be equal to my second angle, 12x minus 3. Now let's solve this. I want to get my x's together. I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. And I get 15 is equal to 2x minus 3. Now I need to get this 3 away from the 2x, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And I get 18 is equal to 2x. Now let's divide both sides by a 2. And I get 9 equals x. Now, just like on the previous problem, you've done the hard part, but you're not done because we were asked to find the value of the angle, not find x. I'm going to plug in 9 here and here, and since I know they're supposed to be equal, I should get the same value. If I don't, I know I've made a mistake. So for the first one, 10x, 10 times 9, plus 15. Remember your order of operations and multiply first. You get 90 plus 15, which gives me 105. This first angle I have calculated to be 105 degrees. Now for the second angle, 12 times 9 minus 3. 12 times 9 is 108 minus 3 also gives me 105. Your two angles are equal to 105 degrees.